Hey, remember the glowing wood panel console that brought video games into millions of living rooms? The company that basically invented the home video game industry? That company was Atari. From Pong to Pac-Man to the legendary 2600, Atari dominated the 1970s and early 80s. Then it all collapsed in one of the most spectacular falls in business history. Today, we're diving into the full story, the incredible rise, the devastating crash, and what actually happened to Atari. Atari was founded in 1972 by Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney. Their first big hit was Pong in 1972, a simple table tennis game that became a massive success in arcades. By 1975, they released Home Pong, and in 1977, they launched the Atari 2600, also known as a VCS. It was one of the first programmable home consoles with swappable cartridges. The 2600 exploded in popularity. Games like Space Invaders, Asteroids, Missile Command, and Pitfall turned Atari into a cultural phenomenon. At its peak in 1982, Atari was making nearly $2 billion a year and accounted for over half of Warner Communications' income. They were the fastest-growing company in America, but success came with problems. Warner Communications had bought Atari in 1976, and corporate suits started interfering with creative decisions. They rushed out too many low-quality games. The most infamous example was E.T. the Extraterrestrial. The game was developed in just 6 weeks and turned out to be almost unplayable. Millions of unsold cartridges ended up buried in a New Mexico landfill, and on top of that, the market became oversaturated with consoles and terrible third-party games. In 1983, the entire North American video game industry crashed. Atari lost over $500 million in a single year. The company was split up, the home division was sold, and the golden age of Atari was over. After the crash, Atari tried several comebacks. They released the 7800, the Lynx handheld, and the infamous Jaguar in 1993, which was marketed as the first 64-bit console. But none of them could compete with Nintendo, Sega, and later Sony. By the mid-90s, Atari was no longer a major player in hardware. The brand changed hands multiple times. It was bought by Hasbro, then by the French company Infogrames, who eventually renamed themselves Atari SA. They went through bankruptcy in 2013, but survived as a smaller company as of 2026. Atari still exists. The company now focuses on retro gaming, re-releasing classic consoles like the Atari 2600 Plus, licensing their iconic games, and developing new titles. They've embraced nostalgia with modern mini-consoles, clothing, and collectibles. While they no longer dominate the industry like they once did, the Atari name and that famous Fuji logo still carry huge cultural weight. That Atari's real legacy is massive. They brought video games into homes for the first time. They created the cartridge system, popularized arcade conversions, and showed the world that gaming could be a serious business. Almost every modern game console owes something to what Atari started in the 1970s at the same time. Their story became the ultimate cautionary tale about what happens when you grow too fast, flood the market with bad products, and lose touch with what made you special in the first place. And so next time you play a classic game on a modern console or see that little wood-grain console in a retro shop, remember Atari, the company that lit the spark for the entire video game industry. What's your favorite Atari memory? Pong, Pac-Man, or something on the 2600? Drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed this nostalgic tech history video, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more What Happened to stories. Thanks for watching.